Honourable members, Madam Speaker.
Prayers, Almighty God, who in infinite and prudential goodness have appointed for leaders and parliaments for this and just government. We beseech you to look upon with the abundant favor these your servants, whom have been pleased to call upon such important trust in this land. Let your blessings set upon the assembled and grant that they may, as in your presence, treat and consider all matter that shall come by their deliberation, be so just and fully man to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the good of those whose interests you have committed to their charge.
Administration of oath. Madam Speaker, honorable members, on the 24th of May, 2022, the Clerk Parliament received a notification that the election of the Honorable Atan Okia Moses as Member of Parliament representing Soroti City East constituency was challenged and subsequently nullified by the Court of Appeal, void election petition appeal number 10 of 2021. In accordance with Article 81 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, I notified the Electoral Commission of the existence of this vacancy in Parliament. On the 28th July 2022, a by-election was held, and the Electoral Commission has, in writing, communicated the results to the Clerk Parliament, indicating that Mr. Ariko Herbert Edmund Okworo was elected as the Member of Parliament representing Soroti City East constituency. Madam Speaker, the member is available and ready to take and subscribe the oath of allegiance and of a Member of Parliament. Madam Speaker, I seek your indulgence to allow him to undertake the aforementioned purpose.
Authorization is granted.
Ready? Your name? Okay.
I, Herbert Edmund Ariko Okworo, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will give faithful service to the Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God. I, Herbert Edmund Okworo Ariko, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God.
Yes, just signed, he has signed already. He has finished. It's now from you. They were corrected 2000 mistake in the brain. It's for you, double service.
Honorable Ariko Herbert, you're most welcome to the 11th Parliament. We know you're not a stranger in this Parliament, you're in the 10th Parliament. Having been here, you know what is supposed to be done. I urge you to be an effective representative of the people and remain a servant leader. You're most welcome. I am giving you the constitution that you've sworn to that you're going to uphold. And then I'm going to give you the rules of procedure that will help you in your day-to-day operation. Welcome. Please go and have a seat in the back bench. Honorable members, this afternoon, join me, welcome a delegation from Soroti City East that have come to witness the swearing in of their leader, Honorable Herbert Ariko Edmond, a member of Parliament of Soroti City East. Please join me and welcome them. Please. Welcome, you're most welcome. Here is your member of Parliament. Congratulations.
Procedure. Yes,
Next. There is a procedural matter here.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I have colleagues, and I am speaking now as a whip of the FDC, who have just returned from sales
they were kidnapped by hooligans.
You're raising under which rule?
I am going to cite the rule. I'm giving the background.
First, give us the rule that you're raising on.
I am
He's on proceeding. He's on procedure, Morris.
and unfortunately there was a guild president at Makere.
Fortunately, he was a guild president.
Unfortunately. Madam Speaker, under Rule 59, I hope the arrangement captures the new rules, matter of privilege. I have colleagues, Madam Speaker, who were arrested by goons, accompanied by the chairman of the NRM Electoral Commission, members of Parliament, Honorable Isodo, and others, and I intend later to give a statement in our rules. But the procedure issue I am raising,
Honorable Semuju, how do you define a goon?
an outlaw. An outlaw, someone who acts as a goon.
Have you confirmed they're not following the law?
Madam Speaker,
You were in Soroti, why were you not arrested?
Madam Speaker, I fear because the rules protect you, so
Yeah.
I ask you to allow me raise the procedure issue because
No, I want you to use the right word.
under the rules, you also be the one to rule, Madam Speaker.
I want you to use the right word. They are not goons.
Madam, maybe you help me. Maybe you help me, but I can leave the word goons if it is offensive. Madam Speaker, the point I am raising, we have colleagues who were kidnapped by a group belonging to NRM. These colleagues are in the house here, where the subject matter is the sharing, of the beneficiary of that hooliganism. I am seeking your indulgence, Madam Speaker, because I thought that maybe in your communication, but to allow me as the whip of the FDC, and I am here by the law, later to make a short statement about colleagues and what the suffering went through at the hands of people, vulnerable people who are involved in hooliganism.
Honorable Haji and Imam, you need to be truthful to what you say, but we'll give you time to present your statement with evidence. Next.
Madam Speaker, whereas on Thursday, the 21st of July, 2022, His Excellency the President made appointments to Cabinet, including the appointment of the Honorable Norbert Mao as the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, pursuant to Article 113(1) of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, and whereas the Appointments Committee of Parliament duly vetted and approved his appointment on Friday, the 22nd July, 2022, pursuant to Rule 100, noting that under Article 78 of the Constitution, which stipulates the composition of Parliament, and under paragraph 1B, which provides that ministers who, if not already elected members of Parliament, shall be ex-officio members of Parliament without the right to vote on any issue requiring a of Rule 3 of the Rules of Procedure, which requires every member, before formally taking his or her seat in Parliament, to take and subscribe the oath of allegiance and oath of a member of Parliament as specified in the fourth schedule of the Constitution. The Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Mao, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, is within the precincts of Parliament and ready to take and subscribe the oath of allegiance and oath of member of Parliament as a condition for him to be admitted as an ex-officio member of the 11th Parliament. I hereby seek your authorization, Madam Speaker, for his admission into the chamber for purposes of taking the oath. Madam Speaker.
Authorization granted. Please. Clerk, can you administer the oath?
I, Norbert Mao, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I'll be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Republic of Uganda, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. So help me God. I, Norbert Mao, swear in the name of the Almighty God that I'll give faithful service to this Parliament and support and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda as by law established. So help me God.
Honorable Mao, can you come over this side after signing? Yes. Can we finish the signing? Then you come up with your procedure. Honorable Mao, the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, you are most welcome to the 11th Parliament. Your appointment comes at a time when this House has been demanding for establishment of review of the constitutional review. And it's more historic that we have somebody from opposition as the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. And in addition, we have issues of human rights. We have issue of prisoners that have been in the prison, political prisoners. It is good you've come at this time, and we hope to get the best out of you. Here is the constitution that you've sworn to uphold to help you in your day-to-day work, and the rules of procedure to help you in your day-to-day work. We wish to congratulate you upon your appointment, and you're welcome to the 11th Parliament. I give you, the Prime Minister will give you where to sit. Honorable members in the public gallery, in the VIP gallery, join me this afternoon to welcome the members of DP. Honorable Dennis Mukasambide is Dr. Chiwanuka Muyambala, National Chairman, Mayambala, Dr. Siranda Gerald, Back Secretary General, Owechitiwa Christine Kasule, you're most welcome. Mr. Imam Makumbi, Vice Chairperson Western, His Worship George Fred Kajimu, Vice President Central Region, Mr. Gilbert Amado, Vice President Eastern Region, Honorable Aisha Waligo, President Women's League. They are here to witness the swearing in of Honorable Mao. You're most welcome. Please join me and welcome them. Yes, procedural matter.
Communication from the chair.
Procedural matter.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we have received the Honorable Mao with an emblem, I should say in haste, not so close the usual emblems, but an emblem of somebody we are used to. Under Rule 9 of our rules, the House is supposed to be guided by the presiding officer as to the sitting arrangement. The Honorable Mao having undergone through a second baptism, neither of water nor the Spirit, but some sort of undertaking, whether faced or otherwise, would you kindly guide the House? Now that the Honorable Mao is here, courtesy of some undertaking called a memorandum, and having committed the members of DP to certain actions, including a vote on the side of the ruling party, how, as the head of the opposition, should consider the status of the members from the DP while I'm whipping for House business when their president is side, and the rules prescribe the manner of doing business in the House, Honorable Speaker, under Rule 9. Would you please guide on how we should proceed as we receive the newly baptized member from neither the speech nor water, Honorable Speaker?
Leader of opposition, Honorable Mao is an ex-official appointed as a minister, and he's appointed as a minister, and that's why I gave him to sit on the front desk, and that's why he's seated there. What you're talking about are members appointed under political leader and political parties. Under political parties, that's why I also directed Honorable Rico to sit in the back bench. So this is not what you mean. For him, he's seated as a minister on the front desk. He's an ex-official, and that's where he belongs. He's appointed by government. And fortunately enough, Honorable Leader of Opposition is a member of Appointments Committee, and was the one who even He was even a lead counsel for Honorable Mao, and he was very happy that we are having a sober-minded person in that position. Those were his remarks.
Communication from the chair.
Yes,
Madam Speaker, I want to thank you very much for your ruling. Unfortunately, the unprecedented nature of this matter is that you have the DP president on the NRM side and his members on our side, but including the whip of DP. But Madam Speaker, since you have ruled, we will now learn to live with it. The procedure issue I am raising, Madam Speaker, under Rule 83, this parliament is a house of decorum. That's why that rule goes even into smaller details of how you enter and how you leave. Just a short while ago, while the Honorable Norbert Moore was walking in, our colleagues on the other side were clapping, yelling, yet under our rules, even the way you express happiness is defined as a member of parliament. You can say, but that's what the rules say. That you can't even clap, you just foot stamp. I want, Madam Speaker, to ask you whether the procedure taken by colleagues from the other side of yelling and of shouting and clapping, including the Prime Minister, whether it is not offending our rules, Madam Speaker.
honorable members, can we have an order in the House? The agreement that Love was talking about as Parliament, we are not privy to it, and we cannot go by what Love was talking about. All we have is a person as a Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. Can we go to the next slide?
Communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I wish to welcome you to the 12th sitting of the second session of the 11th Parliament, and I welcome the two members, that's Honorable Mao Norbert, Chairman General, and I welcome Honorable Ariko, MP of Soroti City East. Welcome to the 11th Parliament. On a side note, this weekend was a catastrophic one of our people in Elgon. Heavy rains triggered flooding, landslides, and killing so many people. So many are displaced. We will, at a later time, hear from the Prime Minister, who has been to Mbale. I urge also executive to establish the reliable disaster early warning systems to save the lives of the people. I remember last week, Rasta was talking about this same thing. And he said, we are going to have a problem. We also need to scale up on the climate change adaptation and mitigation intervention for sustainable development. May I ask the House, therefore, to observe a moment of silence for the people we have lost in Bugisu region.
May their souls rest in eternal peace.
Honorable members, on 30th June 2022, our own Victor Kiplangat delivered Uganda's first ever marathon title in the Commonwealth Games. He conquered 42 kilometers in 2 hours, 10 minutes, and 55 seconds. On behalf of Parliament and on my own behalf, I wish to congratulate Kiplangat and the entire team that is in the Commonwealth. Could we join together and congratulate this member? I urge the Minister of Sports to move a motion formally to pay tribute to the athletics team for their historic performance and recently concluded athletics in the World Champion, where our team has performed very well. We'll have a motion at the end of it. Honorable members, we have up to 30th September 2022 for our next recess. That will mark the end of the first meeting of the second session of the 11th Parliament. So far, we have concluded only in one bill, yet we are meant to have gone a long way with the bills that were brought by government. We were given about 62, but we have only finished one bill. We have a pending KCCA bill, the local content bill, the mining and minerals, which was even brought to the House. We gave them 1 week. They've not come back. I also urge the Committee of Finance to expedite the consideration of the National Local Content Bill and bring it to the House. In addition to that, other committees should expedite the work that is in their committees and bring the work in the House. You can only be accountable for what you've done when you have a report being presented to the House. And we've asked Clerk not to release money for committees that are not working. We've never received any report from HIV. We've never received any report from Equal Opportunities. So we are going to have reports first presented in the House for the last session, and then we can be able to disburse funds for committee work. At the halfway mark of this session, I intend to convene a midterm review of the session to evaluate the performance and the progress of both committees and the House. Periodic measures of our progress is a precondition for improvement of our performance. So if we don't do that, people will remain relaxed and do their own things. Honorable members have received a communication from the Leader of Opposition appointing Honorable Nachimoli Helen, Kalangala District Woman MP, as a Shadow Minister of Animal Industry and Fisheries to replace Honorable Tebandeke Charles. And that is pursuant to Rule 14.2 of the Rules of Procedure. So I urge you to accordingly take note. Honorable Loeb.
Right Honourable Speaker, thank you for your indulgence. For the record, we are not bloating the cabinet. We are replacing one member with another to enhance our efficiency. In the same breath, Right Honourable Speaker, I communicated the appointment of the Honourable Frank Katabazi as the new Shadow Minister for East African Community Affairs, replacing the Honorable Gilbert Olanya, who is going to be redesignated, and that should be done by the Opposition Chief Whip when the Speaker grants leave. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, I've not received that letter, so I'm not aware of that one. I only received one. So you will designate when I receive a copy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations, Helen. Matters of national importance. Procedure.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
There's a procedure matter, then you will come.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise on a procedure matter on your communication, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, it's very sad that we have again lost our brothers and sisters and many people in Mbale in the very unfortunate incident that happened, I think, 2 days ago. Right, Honorable Speaker, this is not the first time we are having this challenge as a country. It is not the first time, it is not the second time, it has been happening many times in the different regions. Therefore, the procedural matter I am raising on would it be considered right for us as Parliament, since the Prime Minister is here today, ask the Prime Minister of this country to give us the plan, because, Right Honorable Speaker, rains have just going to be too many, Right Honorable Speaker. Would it be procedurally right to ask the Prime Minister to give us the strategy and the plan that the government has to prevent such disasters from continuing to happen in our country and to continue losing such lives continuously?
Honorable Silwan, you're raising a procedure on my communication. You cannot raise a procedure on my communication. You
Much obliged, Right Honorable, maybe, but I just wanted to seek your indulgence.
okay?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for the communication specific.
Honorable members, maybe for your information, I have a report from the Prime Minister, and she's going to give us an update of what is happening.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Communication is on the matter that you have just talked about the review that you're going to undertake. But, Right Honorable Speaker, the performance of this House in certain aspects is dependent on the ministers also doing their part. Right Honorable Speaker, when you give directives on certain matters and the minister commits to bring a statement maybe next week, and it takes 3 months, that also becomes a challenge on our part, and we end up with so many unanswered issues. So, Right Honorable Speaker, the last time you asked the clerk to generate all those matters referred to the ministers so that they are put on the order paper and dispensed. But also there are commitments made on the floor. For example, Right Honorable Speaker, when I raised the issue of these musicians who have been going to schools and performing skimpily, dancing seductively, the minister committed to bring guidelines here the following, I think 2 days. I see something circulating on the order, I mean on social media. And I see the Minister of Education here, Right Honorable Speaker. Would it not be right that the minister presents that guidelines and we close that chapter? Because as a nation, we have to be morally upright and be cognizant of the fact that there are people now flocking into schools and teaching our children matter. Actually, the issue of homosexuality is growing in schools, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, the minister is here. I wish he can be.
Honorable Minister, you need to bring those guidelines on Thursday. And we are also told that those schools belong to some ministers and some MPs. That happened belongs to some ministers. Yes.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I raise in relation to Rule 25 of our Rules of Procedure. I have observed, Right Honorable Speaker, that after your communication, there is a struggle to catch your eye. So colleagues are in a dilemma sometimes. That's why my brother from Bujiri, former of Jema, but now NRM, Honorable Serwani, was raising a procedural issue on your communication, which under our rules is not there. But Right Honorable Speaker, what should happen ideally? Under Rule 25, Sub Rule 2, Clause E. Once the chair has made a communication, immediately after the communication, there is supposed to be a reaction to the communication. And it is the indulgence of the speaker to determine who and for how long that communication should be made. So ideally, once the speaker has made the communication, the duty on any person who wants to say something is just to stand and seek to catch the eye of the speaker without necessarily bothering yourself with either procedure or clarification or what. Because that's what the rules say. But the speaker, it is up to the presiding officer to ask whether anybody has a reaction to his or her communication, depending on who is in the seat. Madam Speaker, I have raised this matter. This is the third time I am raising it. But I think it would be important that it is streamlined so that colleagues don't find it difficult in raising issues after the communication of the speaker. You don't have to bother with the procedure. You don't have to bother with it. It is under our rules. So I hope that moving forward, we will try to follow the guidance of the rules. I thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you so much. Matters of national importance. Mbabasi Pascal. Mbabasi Pascal.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Mbabasi Pascal. I represent Wekula County from Bende District. Right Honourable Speaker, I rise on the issue of national importance, and it is all about the road units that were provided to every district by the government. Most districts are now grappling with de facto machines. A case in a point is my district, Namwede district. We are 7 months without our grader, and the grader which has been helping us in maintaining the roads. Mwede district is well known for maize production, coffee, banana, and other agricultural products. It is very key that road infrastructure is very important in the development of this country, Morende in particular. But in the absence of the tractor, which has been so useful in rehabilitating our roads, taking 7 months at the center for repair has caused a mass, has caused the district to lack good roads. Right Honourable Speaker, my plea is
Pascal, is it a tractor or a grader?
a grader, sorry, a grader.
Okay.
Now 7 months, we don't have it in the district. You find a district is trying to borrow from other districts, and other districts are saying also theirs are also in the same dilemma. Right Honourable Speaker, my plea is let the Minister of Works and Transport comes in at least to help those districts that are stuck with poor roads, like Mbende district. We have had it reach areas, like in my constituency, Butologo sub-county, where people are now demonstrating and they want to be cut off from Mbende district, be taken to Kasanda district. Right Honourable Speaker, I'll be so grateful if my plea is considered. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker.
Prime Minister.
Procedure, Madam Speaker, procedure.
Prime Minister.
Procedure.
Yes, Chairman, VCU.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the procedure I'm raising, a few minutes, you made the House to stand up for a minute of silence. And the minute of silence is in respect of people who have died in the Bugis region as a result of the rain, the calamity which has taken place. Madam Speaker, I was sitting hoping that that was going to be the first issue to deal with. But I am hearing graders, I am hearing what? Madam Speaker, wouldn't it be procedure right that we deal with the issue of the people who have died and are yet to die because of this rain which is in place? Wouldn't it-
Honorable Nandala Nathan, the Member of Parliament of Budadiri West. I have a document the Prime Minister is going to be led by Honorable Karim, the area Member of Parliament, and the Minister is going to give us a report on that. And it is the next item. Kindly don't take over the powers of the Speaker. Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I have taken note of the concern of our brother, the Honorable Pascal Mbabazi, that the graders in Mubende I will direct the minister in charge of works to go and make sure that these graders are repaired. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Karim, Honorable Musila, John Faith, Sasaga.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Masawa Karim, the Member of Parliament representing Industrial Division, Bale City. Moving under Rule 25 of the Rules of Procedure on a matter of urgent public importance concerning the torrential rains and the floods that occurred in Mbale City and neighboring areas. As you're well aware, and in this Right Honorable Speaker's communication, these floods began on the 30th of July, 2022. And so far, about over 20 bodies have been recovered. And we expect the numbers to grow because the water levels are just going down. So anytime from now, I believe we'll be recovering more bodies. Right Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, apart from the loss of lives, very many people have been displaced in thousands because I was in touch with the LC chairpersons, the LC ones, and the leaders at the city. We've so far counted about 1,200 people who are displaced. And we expect these numbers to go up because we've not yet reached some of the areas. A lot of property has been destroyed, as you've been seeing all over social media and everywhere. What you're seeing is what is actually happening. People don't have houses. So our people literally don't have where to run to for help because we would house some of them in these areas, but the areas where we would push them to go for help have been destroyed. The industrial park, which serves the entire eastern, has been submerged in water, and it employs people, very many of our youths and many of our people, and we expect more problems to arise from the unemployment that are being caused by this catastrophe. Many of the roads in the area have been cut off. Some of the bridges have collapsed, and right now, as I speak, the city is not in capacity. They are not able to sustain, given that they were given 30 million shillings for the road fund, which is one of the roads. In conclusion, my prayers, Right Honorable Speaker, one, the Office of the Prime Minister urgently deploy an effective machinery to help the people of Mbale who are currently struggling. You've been seeing it's the local community that is trying to fight hard. I contacted some of the colleagues in the UPDF, and they're also having issues because the military barracks, the 3rd Division in Mugema, was also affected by the water, and some of the victims among the dead bodies, they are UPDF soldiers as well. So we are facing hard times. Two, that the Office of the Prime Minister urgently supplies emergency reliefs in terms of food, medicine, water, beddings, and temporary accommodation for our people. I have a very big slum of Namatala, which has over 50,000 people. And as I speak, they don't have any drinking water because when the floods came, they contaminated the water that these communities survive on. So we don't have water at all, and people don't have where to sleep. Thirdly, that the office of the Prime Minister urgently provides financial assistance and the ones that have been affected. People have bodies still stranded in the morgue because they don't have money to actually go and claim these bodies and bury them, give them a decent send-off. So I'm requesting that the office of the Prime Minister urgently expedites this process. Fourthly, that the Ministry of Works and Transport urgently repairs the roads and bridges that have been affected and cut off because now movement is a problem. I was up in Bomboi, part of some of the roads have been cut off. There is a bridge that had helped the community repair. It has completely been washed off in Mototo. So we are still facing a very big challenge with transport and movement. The other issue is about the resettlement program. I'm requesting the office of the Prime Minister to fast track and ensure the safety of our people, because there is a program, but unfortunately, it has not moved as far as we expect, because it was rolled out about 5 years ago, and the plan was to construct about 900 houses, but as we speak, only 100 have been constructed. And with these rains just beginning, we expect that there could be more danger in case the office of the Prime Minister does not act fast. Lastly, the Prime Minister was there, and we are grateful, but the people were disappointed because we had a lot of expectations when the Prime Minister came, but unfortunately, we were not helped so much. I'm kindly requesting that you speed up, because I know you might be planning to do something for us, but time isn't our best ally right now. Our people are dying, our people are starving. So I'm kindly requesting that you expedite the entire process. Thank you very much. I beg to submit.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Karim. Unless if it is additional prayers, but maybe we could first hear the report from the Prime Minister, and then you will react to it. Prime Minister.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to inform the House that I traveled to Mbale City on Saturday, 31st.
Procedure, Right Honorable Speaker, we are still under the guidelines on COVID. Apparently, I see quite a number of colleagues in this House without masks. And they are all over here, they are all over there. Are we proceeding? Yes. Are we proceeding well? Honorable Speaker, when quite a number of colleagues deliberately come to this parliament without mask, including yourself, you've taken care to mask yourself. So are we proceeding well, Right Honorable Speaker?
They have put on the masks. There are those without masks, please get out. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. The procedure matter I'm raising is because the Prime Minister doesn't accept clarifications. But why I'm raising this procedure through it?
Why did she refuse your clarification?
I don't know. That's her style of debate in the House. But, Honorable Speaker.
Why are you talking in anticipation?
Honorable Speaker, the procedure matter I'm raising.
No, you let her present, then you get a clarification from her.
But Honorable Speaker, I stood very humble and patient, well organized, but she refused to seek my clarification.
When?
And it is fundamental. Here.
She will give you a clarification. First, listen to the report.
I want to thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for your wise ruling. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I would like to inform you that I traveled to Mbale City on Saturday, 31st, July 2022, following reports of devastating floods that caused by heavy rains in the night of Saturday 30th, resulting in the overflow of rivers Nabuyonga and Namatara in Mbale district. This has led to death and destruction and displacement. Honorable Speaker, on arrival in Mbale, I was led by the resident city commissioner, Mr. Hamad Wasaki, the district leadership and technical staff from the affected areas, notably Nabuyonga River along Mbale Kumi Road, Nambale Bridge along Tororo Road, and Mbale Industrial Park.
Madam Speaker, the Honorable Masaba raised a matter of national importance, which ordinarily attract a short answer. The Prime Minister is making a presentation. Under the rules, a ministerial statement is debated at least for an hour. The procedural issue I am raising is whether the Prime Minister's presentation that rules say is going to be treated as a ministerial statement or just a response to a matter of national importance.
After receiving matters of national importance from the 5 members, I sent them to the Prime Minister to bring a write-up on the response. And that's what she's doing. And it is uploaded on the iPads. I am the one who wrote, asking what action she has taken on these issues. You are raising on procedure, our people in Mbale are dying, you don't know what is in Mbale.
Right, Honorable Speaker, the main findings are, as of yesterday, 1st, 2022, a total of 23 people were confirmed dead. Amongst them was a UPDF soldier. Several bodies and motorcycles are feared to be still trapped on the riverbeds, and a number of people are still missing. Several homesteads have been destroyed and families displaced. At Mbale Industrial Park, a big section has been submerged and the products and equipment were destroyed. Nabuyonga and Bunkoko bridges were seriously affected, causing a cut-off of water supply to Mbale City. Action taken. After the tour and inspection of the damage, I chaired a multi-sectoral meeting at Honorable Speaker comprising of local leaders, officials from the Ministry of Health, Uganda National Roads Authority, Uganda Red Cross, Disaster Preparedness Department, in my office, Uganda Police Force, and UPDF. The purpose of the meeting was to come up with quick, detailed assessment to enable government to respond effectively. His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, has committed 5 million to each bereaved family to cover burial expenses. The list of the dead from the Resident District Commissioner, Mbale, is hereby attached. You can check. Honorable Speaker, government through Ministry of Disaster Preparedness under my office has provided a relief food to the tune of 90 metric tons to Mbale City, Kapchorwa, and Mbale District. The food is already there. UPDF and police have intensified search and rescue operations by clearing the river beds. The Ministry of Water is on ground reconnecting the water supply at Bungoko Bridge, and I'm told now Mbale City has water. The Ministry of Works and UNRWA are also on ground clearing the roads that have been blocked by the deputies. Honorable Speaker, the government will urgently embark on restoration of damaged infrastructure in the affected areas. Like I've already told you that UNRWA is already there. There are those other roads that are managed by the district, including the Mbale National Park, Industrial Park. Government has intensified early warning mechanisms using information from the Uganda Meteorological Authority and using various media channels like radios, TVs, to alert people on the pending disaster since it has just started raining. Police will also set up roadblocks to prevent people from crossing dangerous bridges and other occasions in case of imminent danger. People who have illegally encroached on the wetlands or settled close to the river banks and the forests will be evicted and resettled. The office of the Prime Minister, using engineering, UPDF Engineering Brigade, is coordinating, as you are aware, the Bulambuli settlement, a project aimed at resettling identified households at high risk of landslides. This has been going on since 2018. Government has so far constructed and settled 272 households at Bunambutie settlement in Bulambuli district. We have also constructed a health center 3 and a primary school in this settlement. That is approximately 2,500 people have already been settled. Our budget was affected, Right Honorable Speaker, by the floods, as you are aware, last year that hit the country, and of course COVID-19 that affected our budget through budget cuts. 100 households, like my brother here said, from the 5 most landslide prone and affected districts of the Mount Elgon region. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the settlement process is being implemented in a phased approach, with the first, second, and third phase already complete. In the first phase, government plans to construct 100 houses. Cabinet chaired by the President yesterday extensively discussed this matter and came up with short, medium, and long-term solutions. Today, Right Honorable Speaker, I chaired a meeting of development partners to plan and respond to the problem. And they have pledged support, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I have attached a number of those people who are affected and those who are dead. You can check on that list. I don't need to read it. Government has so far done the following. In Bulambutie, we constructed 101 houses in the first phase with pit latrines, kitchen. We constructed 140 houses in phase 2 and 22 houses in phase 3, and 32 houses are under construction in phase 4. We constructed Bulambutie Primary School within the settlement area, recruited a head teacher and staff for the primary school. We have constructed the health center and it is fully functional. A market is to be constructed within the settlement area. The process to give the settlement a town council status is ongoing in the Ministry of Local Government. Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we are also thinking about having these people settled in towns. We are in discussion with government. Today, like I told you already, the Ministry of Works and other agencies, Ministry of Defense, Veteran Affairs, Ministry of Education Affairs, Relief and Disaster Preparedness and Local Government, and Ministry of Finance, as I talk now, are in a meeting. In conclusion, government has deployed all responsible agencies and technical teams including UPDF in the sub-region to do continuous assessment and appropriate intervention will be done. Right, Honorable Speaker, I have my sister here, who is the Minister for Disaster Preparedness. He has details of what took place. I request that you give her some little time to give the details to members. But her detailed report is also attached as Annex 2. Thank you so much.
The other one of we are in discussion with the government was the slip of the tongue. That the government is in discussion. Honorable, I will allow all of you to react. First, get the information. Give us the details.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, came up with a national disaster risk management plan. And this plan was approved by Cabinet on the 11th of July, 2022. When we talk about the DRM plan, we are talking about the future and most sustainable activities that this House would want to get from us. Colleagues, the following are the basic components of this DRM plan. We have the equipment part of it. We have got the preparedness, disaster risk reduction, understanding the risk, the disaster risk reproductive coordination and governance. And we also have standardized disasters into level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4. Right now, what is happening in Mbale or in Elgon region is level 3. Colleagues, we are aware the disaster happened in Elgon region. We have been giving early warning messages through the through the media center. We have also been working with the local governments in these districts to see how last year we didn't have any death in Elgon region. But this catastrophe that happened this time, it happened in the town itself, not even again where we had thought it would take place. You talk about Bududa, when you talk about Sironko, Mwanafa, Namisindwa. It's very unfortunate that we have lost over 23 people, but we are already taking action. Just as my Prime Minister has mentioned here, the partners have given in support, and we have requested them more support to be able to rescue our people, to be able to give our people the more things who have been affected. We have also mobilized resources before this. I want to give an example.
Yes.
Madam Speaker, we have received a statement from the Prime Minister and leader of government business. She even gave an outline of what government has done so far. Now a junior minister, after our supervisor has spoken, is repeating one word after another. Madam Speaker, is the junior disaster minister in proceeding well to begin repeating what the Prime Minister has told Parliament, word by word, instead of allowing members from the area either to give us information or for some of us to seek clarification?
The junior minister of disaster was given permission by the Prime Minister, so she's moving on a right track. Honorable Minister, summarize. Since you are the only minister of disaster.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister. I know my brother Semuju,
At least today I'm not a prime minister.
and when I saw him rising up, I knew what he was going to say. So we are used to him. Right Honorable Speaker, I was giving the House guiding that there is a plan that the ministry has already developed, talking about sustainability. Because what my Prime Minister has brought up now is what is happening right now. Tell the House, we have already come up with a plan. It's a 10 years plan. It has been approved by Cabinet. It's going to be brought here when we get time, because we could not do it today.
Thank you.
Submit.
Honorable Minister of disaster, we need an immediate plan. The areas where disasters befallen are not areas that we even expect a disaster. When you look at areas like Namatala, Nabiyonga, you grew up in those places. In Namakwekwe, Maluku, industrial area, those are areas. So we need an immediate plan for them.
Honorable Speaker, we have an atlas that has been developed, and it tells us details of the entire country where we have impact on disasters, and it is marked on red, orange, and green. So we know this, and it has been mapped, and we have the map. I can be able to lay it on table next time I'm bringing the
Mary, the woman MP. Is she a city MP? Yes.
Speaker, I'm Miriam Muhaye, the woman member of parliament from Mbale district. I rise on the matter of national importance.
No, we want a reaction to what has been raised by,
I just want to
by
add on.
Karim, and then a report of the Prime Minister, and then disaster.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, as I stand here, let me share this, that I have grief and pain in my heart because my people are really suffering, and this suffering is just at my neighborhood too. Some of my close neighbors have died. Even my real family has lost so many crops. And so there is pain in my heart as I share this. And colleagues, this is not an easy thing, because many of you may have just seen it on TV, but on ground, people in Mbale and the Elgon sub-region are suffering, they are struggling, they don't know what to do next. And I know that reports that have come in may not have shown exactly what is on ground, because even today, before I came in here, the OC3 chairpersons were calling me and telling me there is still drizzle of rain and many crops are being washed away, and people do not know what to do. Because in Mbale or Elgon sub-region, we were lucky that we had some rains and people were soon harvesting their crops. Some had even planted ready for the second season. So all that has been swept away. And to me, I want to request that, just like my colleague said, that the response should be done quickly. One of the issues that I want to add on is that we have the Uganda National Meteorological Authority, and it's there to inform us on the issues of climate change. But in most cases, this information does not trickle down to the ground people. I would request that this information goes down in the local languages. Let the people be given these alerts so that those who are in risky places can know what to do. And also we are talking of this, the disaster response plan. Today we are behaving as if we are guests in our own country, as if we do not know the things that are happening in the Elgon sub-region. Whenever a disaster comes, it's like we are waking up to something that we do not know that it will happen. I want to urge government, Madam Prime Minister, let this be taken urgently. I do not know how many people will die before government can wake up to save our people. But however, that being said, I want to appreciate you, Madam Prime Minister, because the people you supported when you came to Nambale Bridge, it is just so close to my home. They called me and appreciated the offer that you gave them. And I want to thank you so much for that gesture of love of a mother who left other programs and went to Mbale to witness yourself the things that were happening. Thank you so much. And I believe that you will do more to help our people, not only Bugis sub-region, but even other regions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Isaiah. Isaiah.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, supplementary to what my colleagues have said, we do appreciate the little response government has made to the people of Mbale. If you look at the gravity on the ground, the sensitivity of the floods, the landslides which have happened right from the mountain top, you know what you are seeing in Mbale is as the effect of what is happening in the mountains. The team which went to Mbale stopped in Mbale town, which has not even extended far out of the Mbale. And contrary to what my sister is saying, that no major landslides have occurred and floods last year in Mbale, it is not true. It is not, because even last time we had serious ones in many sub-counties and many areas in the Bugisu region. If your response has been slow or no response at all, you don't have to tell us that they never occurred. They occurred and they never responded. But back to what's happening in Mbale, we could expect a lot of the degree of responsiveness from government. I believe is not all that enough. It's not adequate enough. We could expect government to have responded much more than that, because much as the relief items you have taken, they are ending in the hands of a few people. People affected are very many. And I could encourage, and information from my senior colleague.
Thank you for allowing me to give you information, my brother. As you thank the government for deploying teams, such rescue teams on ground, Madam Speaker, those of us that have been on ground, I would like to give you information for free. That much as we have had UPDF and the police search teams, rescue teams, donning uniforms actually labeled fire rescue teams. They are sleeping on job. The bodies that so far are being retrieved from the river is cut off the efforts of the locals. And even when they were called to help, one could not even dare brave the waters to help retrieve a body. So they are lacking in the skill and expertise of rescuing and even evacuating those that were trapped in the locations that needed those victims to be evacuated. So to say government has deployed when these people are idle and busy bodies, Madam Speaker, is lacking in the aspect of humanitarian spirit. Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I think the colleague has perfectly put it. To me, it could equate to the efforts of those who went more or less as more or less a film show. If you see what is happening on the screen and people moving around, and you actually think that the efforts which you are seeing on the screen is on the ground in terms of the evacuation of people and giving the aid. So I could implore the Prime Minister that even as you go back to Mbale soon, involve even the leadership, all, than moving the other cities and you move with the cameras around, which I believe to the local people is not so much benefiting. As I conclude, Right Honorable Speaker,
I have the supplementary also disaster report from Soronko district, which I could also at the same time lay on table, where very many sub-counties have been affected in the Soronko district, both in the east and west. That is the Ukis sub-county. There is Masava sub-county, where landslide Soka, and around 30 families. 30 families are in the camp at Givis Primary School, lacking food and the beddings. Then we have the Soronko Town Council, which is heavily flooded as the water came from the mountains, and it is also crossing over to Bukedia. I believe by now water could be crossing to Bukedia. There is Bubeza sub-county and Rusala sub-counties, where even the bridges have been washed away. So I could implore the team that as you plan for disasters in the Legon region, also include Soronko and most of the affected areas. Yes, with affected areas. And lastly, my prayer, Right Honorable Speaker, I think it is high time Legon region is declared a disaster-prone area. Because I know government is trying, but may not have all the capacities. If the area has been declared disaster area for that case, more other interventions might come on board to help us in that area. Otherwise, we have spoken it here time and again. The Rastafarian has always raised it, and we have raised it here in Parliament, of how government is prepared. And we foretold this Parliament and the ministry. The disasters are coming anytime. The landslides are going to come on the ground. Nothing has been prepared for that matter. People are only running to the situation rescue, but the intervention before that has been not taking place. I think it's also high time that this Parliament looks at the report of the Committee of Presidential Affairs. I remember, Honorable Right Speaker, you said this committee, it moved all of this country. They generated a very good report, was read and adopted. If we could go into the implementation of that report, I believe it can mitigate most of the effects which could come as a result of landslide and the floods. I rest my case.
Honorable Minister, you need to look at the recommendations of the committee, and then you could pass on that list to the Prime Minister, the list of the areas, and include in it, since you talked about Bukedea, you can include Busano in that, since we share the same voters. Members, we've gotten the information. What we want is an action. We need the Prime Minister on ground with the disaster team and take an action on what is happening. The lamentations that we are doing here is just for your own good, because we want cameras. But what we want, honorable members, what we want is a team on the ground. And Honorable Minister, can you people sit? What we want is the Prime Minister and disaster to go on the ground, go with the members of Parliament of those affected areas, order. Prime Minister, you need to go on the ground. People are dying day in, day out. And you need to go with all the members of Parliament of those affected areas. And we need results, we need a feedback in the House.
Right, Honorable. I want members to appreciate that even before this tragedy happened, 2 weeks ago, I was in Imbale. 4 weeks ago, the president was in Kapchorwa on the same. So members are saying we are just That will not demoralize us. We shall make sure that we deliver to the people of Mbale. Yes, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we have taken note of the concerns of our colleagues, and we shall definitely act. I promise this government will act, and I promise that we shall handle the issue by issue. Bagala.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. For the record, my name is Joyce Bagala Mtwatwa. I am the woman and member of parliament from Uganda district and the shadow minister for ICT and anti-corruption. Right Honorable Speaker, according to the Uganda Public Service Standing Orders 2021, misconduct of a public officer shall include acts that bring the service in disrepute, bullying or victimization, threatening behavior, fighting or assault at a place of work. Right Honorable Speaker, on the 29th day of July 2022, on the NBS Frontline Talk Show that happens every Thursday at 10 p.m., the Honorable Minister of ICT and National Guidance witnessed an act of misconduct and crime being committed by a public service officer in the names of Ofono Opondo, who is the government spokesperson and also the deputy director at the media center, who attacked on live TV the Lord Mayor of Kampala, Arias Lukwago. Since Thursday up to now, I haven't seen any government statement relating to the incident that happened that day. That's why my prayer is to see this government and indeed the Minister of ICT and National Guidance to take punitive action against Mr. Ofono Opondo, because what he did could instigate violence not only on opposition members of parliament, but also on government officers on TV talk shows. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, since he has and the minister, and I believe he has the capacity to investigate the matter, I will only inform Parliament what he will have come up with.
Yes, Lord.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. This matter could look person holder on the part of the persons involved, but it has far-reaching implications on how we are perceived as leaders in this country. Especially the Prime Minister, first of all, to express regret over a public officer for behaving in that kind of manner. Probably the Prime Minister, out of her seemingly busy schedule, could have received information from the minister concerned as whether action has been taken on this public officer. But the Prime Minister seems to tell Parliament that he's hearing it for the first time, and therefore did not have room to seek for information. Right Honorable Speaker, the Lord Mayor of Kampala's, Uganda's capital, is a very, very serious human being and an image of our city. And therefore, for anybody acting on behalf of government, because the government spokesperson was there to speak for government, for anybody representing government to try to treat the Lord Mayor of the city in that manner, and we gloss over it as though it's a common occurrence. That, Lord Speaker, is an invitation for public officers to behave in a manner they desire. After all, their principles. Would let it pass or treat it casually, Right Honorable Speaker? We would like to receive more commitment from the Prime Minister, first of all, that she's equally concerned that this is a very serious abdication of public duty on the part of a public officer, and therefore action not really in the future, but immediate, is being taken or has already been taken? Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Let the Minister of ICT come and report in the House on what could have happened. Of course, it is regrettable. That one we can't teach. It is today. It has happened to Lukwago. Tomorrow it will happen to another person. The minister will come and report. The Prime Minister was in the field. She was busy. She could have not seen.
Procedure, Madam. Procedure.
Najomba Sarah.
Procedure,
The
Madam.
Prime Minister is coming. I mean, the minister is coming to report.
Procedure,
We are not
Madam.
discussing on that issue.
Procedure, Madam Speaker. Procedure. Sorry to interfere, but I also have my disaster and I'm raising under a procedure issue under Rule 236 of the Rules of Procedure, which says the Speaker or a chairperson of a committee shall take all necessary steps to ensure that persons with disabilities are facilitated in their participation in proceedings of the House or its committees. Madam Speaker, I'm raising this issue because I have been discussing it with the responsible people. It concerns parking for members of parliament with disabilities. Madam Speaker, this parliament designated parking for us. It is clearly marked MPPWD Central, East, National, etc. Since we came here, Madam Speaker, we've been struggling with parking. This same parking is next to our ramp, which we are supposed to use. Madam Speaker, it has become a habit that we always don't find our parking, and we struggle to move from wherever to come to this place. Madam Speaker, this parliament passed a law called the Persons with Disabilities Act, which makes it an offense for an able-bodied person to park in any park. Unfortunate that people who God has blessed with normal legs do not want to walk long distances, but they insist and park in the parking for members of parliament with disabilities. My anger today is that when I came in and spoke to the security, he told me that, I'm sorry, the person who has parked in your parking is a commissioner.
Minister,
Madam Speaker, I raised on procedure matter.
We'll handle it.
Madam Speaker, allow me to conclude. Under Rule 9, again, Madam Speaker. This, Madam Speaker, you are supposed to allocate reasonable accommodation for seats. This chamber is not accessible to us. It has stairs. We can't go down. We can't sit on the upper seats. Madam Speaker, for us, a seat is not just convenient, it is reasonable accommodation. I want to request that you make this work easy for us, but also because it is as of right that we need to be in this parliament and participate on an equal basis with other members of parliament. I don't see why a person who can read and write would park their car in a parking marked PWD MPs. I thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Information. Honorable members of parliament, that issue is going to be handled. Information. It is not for the House. Honorable Akumu, sit. Sit. That issue is going to be handled. The commissioners who park where the people of disability are supposed to park should leave that parking. That parking is for people with a disability. Honorable members, we want to honorable the Minister of ICT to bring a report in 1 week on what is happening. And then as you do evacuation of people in wetlands, we also maybe wish to ask you to evacuate the investors who are in the wetland. The scene on that road from Valley to wetland. So let's not do it in a discriminative manner. Honorable Najomba. Sarah, next item. Next item.
Item 4, laying of papers. Item 4.1, report of the delegation to the IPU 8th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians held in Sharm el-Sheikh.
You have a procedure matter?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. I was waiting for the clerk to conclude that we do not sound in conflict. Right Honorable Speaker, on Friday last week, I presented a motion to your office and that of the clerk in relation to a matter before this house relating to Rocco Construction Company. Right Honorable Speaker, I seek your guidance on how that motion should be processed so that this house, as decorum, is properly protected. Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. No, we received the motion and we will handle it according to the rules of procedure of this house. Thank you. Yes.
Honorable Speaker, thank you for accepting this procedure matter. A while ago, before the Prime Minister leaves, the member raised an issue on tractors and their districts not having equipment. But Honorable Speaker, there are a number of new districts in Uganda that don't have road equipment. And the procedure matter I'm raising before the Prime Minister goes, before you ask Ministry of Works, how do we know and when will these new districts ever get their road equipments? Because they don't have enough funds. Second, on the same procedure matter, no Speaker, as we talk about the issue of Mbale, it was the same problem that occurred in Kasese. What we are seeing on TV, no Speaker, is that the Wananchi are using ropes to pull out people and vehicles from the floods. But no Speaker, government has seen all these floods taking place. What have they put in place by procuring equipments that can help to retrieve and control these disasters? Because they're not members, this is a force majeure. It will happen. It's an act of God. It hadn't happened. But you want to know whether the Prime Minister, when he's coming back here, is going to inform this house. What are they putting in place in case such a disaster happens? Are we going to be using ropes, tying goats, the way we are seeing it, pulling out vehicles from the waters, or they can procure better equipment? Because they are there world over. That's what I'm seeing through the procedure matter. But because the Prime Minister never accepts the clarifications, we shall continue slowly and humbly nagging her until she accepts that behavior of clarification.
Right Honorable Speaker and brothers and sisters, you are aware that in this financial year budget, we budgeted for the graders of the new districts and the municipalities. This question has been coming here and I have answered it many times. As for ropes, Honorable Speaker, you will realize that by yesterday, the cranes had already reached the site, and now we are using the cranes to evacuate and to open the beds of the river. So it is true that police and the general public were rescuing using the ropes, but by that time we had not yet transported the machinery to the site. But now the machineries are on site.
Item 4.1, laying of papers, report of the delegation to the IPU 8th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians held in Sharm el-Sheikh, 13th to 16th June 2022.
Honorable Sanya Patrick.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, for the record, once again, my name is Nsanja Patrick, MP in Tanjiro South, which is situated in Kayunga District. Madam Speaker, I wish to lay on table a report entitled Report of the delegation of the Interparliamentary Union, 8th Global Conference of Young Parliamentarians held in Sharm el-Sheikh from 13th to 16th June 2022. I beg to lay.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sanja. Honorable members, this report is for your information. It will be uploaded for easy access. Please address your minds in the resolution and explore the relevance of oversight undertaking. Next.
Item 4.2, the East African Community Bills Understanding Committees.
Honorable, Right Honorable Speaker Emeritus.
Mwenyekiti na wabunge wa Uganda. Habari za mchana. Bon après-midi. Good afternoon. Speaker, the members, I'm here to fulfill an obligation under Article 123 of the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda relating to execution of treaties and conventions. Additionally, I'm also proceeding under Article 65 of the Treaty for the Establishment of the East African Community, which governs the relations between the Assembly and the national assemblies of the partner states. I would like just to read what is in Article 65. In pursuance of the policy of the community for popular participation in the achievement of the objectives, and so that the Council may be able to take into account in the exercise of its functions the opinion of the general public in the partner states on matters relating to the achievement of the objectives of the community as expressed through the debates of the elected members of the national assemblies and those of the assembly, and foster cooperation between the assembly and the national assemblies of the partner states. A, the clerk of the assembly shall, as soon as practicable, transmit the clerks of the national assemblies copies of the records of all relevant debates of the meetings of the assembly by the respective ministers responsible for the East African community. And under Rule 36, I'm going to lay copies of the bills introduced to the Assembly, acts of the community, and I'll give a small summary. For today, I do not have the records of the debates of the Assembly. So I'll begin with the bills before the standing committees of the House for their 2016 to 2022. Now, we have the East African Community Whistleblowers Protection Bill 2016, the East African Community Retirement Benefits for Specified Heads of Organs Bill 2016, the Community Mining Bill 2017, the East African Community Youth Council Bill 2017, the Community Pharmaceuticals Bill of 2020, the Community Sexual and Reproductive Health Bill 2021, the Community Surveillance and Enforcement Commission Bill 2022, the Community Cultural Heritage Bill 2022, and the Community Financial Services Commission Bill 2022. I also have the East African Standardization, Accreditation, and Conformity Assessment Bill 2022. I beg to lay.
Please lay.
I have, in addition, bills which are in the process of assent have been completed, awaiting assent. The Community Prohibition of Female Genital Mutilation Bill 2016, the Community Counter Trafficking Persons Bill 2016, the Community Gender Equality, Equity and Development Bill 2017, the Community Polythene Materials Control Act 2017, the Community Customs Management Amendment Bill 2018, the Community Lake Victoria Basin Commission Bill 2020, and the Community Integrity and Anti-Corruption Bill 2020. Honourable members, I just want to make a small comment on this one, that I'm intrigued that they were passed, they were sent for assent, they have not been assented to, but they have also not been declined. So they're still in abeyance. So this category, I've written to the chair of the council now, the minister from Burundi, for us to take action on those that are completed but not assented to. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
I have another category of bills where assent was withheld. And as is the practice within the community, if one partner state withholds consent, that means the bill will not come into law, it will not come into effect. So I just want to present those that were where consent was withheld and who withheld the consent. The East African Community Tourism Wildlife Management Bill, consent of Republic of Tanzania was withheld. I beg to lay. The Community Transboundary Ecosystems Management Bill 2010, United Republic of Tanzania withheld their consent. I beg to lay. The Community Disaster Risk and Management Bill 2013, the Republic of Kenya withheld assent. I beg to lay. The East African Community Electronic Transactions Bill 2014, again, the United Republic of Tanzania withheld consent, indicating that the issues of electronic transactions should be handled by a task force on cyber laws. So this has also been withheld. I beg to lay. The Community Creative Cultural Industries Bill, again, the United Republic of Tanzania withheld consent on the basis that was contravening Article 91 and 59.2 of the Treaty for East African Community. I beg to lay. I would also like to lay the Community Forest Management and Protection Bill of 2015. Again, the Republic of Tanzania declined to consent, waiting for policy guidelines. I beg to lay. The next category are those that have been assented to and are in force. The Acts of the Community Act 2003, the laws of the community, the powers, the Legislative Powers and Privileges Act of 2003, Community Customs Management Act 2004. I beg to lay. The East African Community Standardization, Quality Assurance, Meteorology and Testing Act 2006. I beg to lay. The Community Competition Act 2006. I beg to lay. Customs Management Amendment Act 2007. I beg to lay. The Summit Delegations of Powers and Functions Act 2007. Beg to lay. East African Trade Negotiations Act 2008. I beg to lay. The Lake Victoria Transport Act 2008. I beg to lay. East African Community Budget Act 2008. I beg to lay. Customs Management Amendment Act 2008. I beg to lay. Civil Aviation Safety and Security Oversight Agency Act 2009, I beg to lay. Community Amendment Act 2009, beg to lay. East African Competition Amendment Act 2010, beg to lay. East African Communities East African Parliamentary Institute Act 2011, beg to lay. East African Customs Management Amendment Act 2011, beg to lay. Legislative Assembly Elections Act 2011, beg to lay. Act 2011, I beg to lay. The Community Emblems Amendment Act 2012, beg to lay. There too. Just lay them. Let them go. The Community HIV and AIDS Prevention and Management Act 2012, beg to lay. Community Conflict Management Act 2012, I beg to lay. East African Community Elections Act 2012. East African Community One-Stop Border Posts Act 2013. East African Community Vehicle Load Control Act 2013. East African Court of Justice Act 2017. East African Community Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. The Community Elimination of Non-Tariff Barriers Act 2017. Community Oaths Act. East African Monetary Institute Act 2019. I beg to lay. I just need to make a small statement.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, as you're aware, Uganda is partner state of the EAC bloc. The membership now comprises the Democratic Republic of Congo, the South Sudan, Uganda. I want to inform the House that on the 11th of July, the DRC Congo reported the instruments of ratification 2 months ahead of time. We had given them until September, but they moved very, very early. So they're now fully members of the EAC, and we have started attending our meetings. The critical organs of the treaty are the Legislative Assembly, as I've informed you. It has 62 members and 8 ex-official members from each partner state. There is a requirement that we have good relations between the EALA and the partner states through transmission of and exchange of all relevant debates of the sessions of the assemblies, playing with the bills and acts, which I have just done. So a lot of bills work has been done by the community. In total, 36 substantive acts have been enacted and assented to. Another 36 have been introduced. 14 are in the process of assent. 15 are before the committees. And the 8 I've informed you where there are reservations. The concluded acts have all been assented to, and once they are assented, they go into force immediately. So those that are still under consideration, we shall be able to inform the House and the country about their status. So this statement is just in fulfillment of the obligations of Article 65 and Rule 36 of the Rules of Procedure. Thank you very much for your attention. Honourable Speaker and members.
Thank you so much. Right, Honourable Minister and Minister of East African Affairs. The documents are going to be deposited in the library for your information, and this will be good for you to understand what is happening in the East African community. Our Committee on East African Affairs should regularly monitor and report on our national compliance to the East African Treaty and protocols. And this is why this committee was formed. So that is what should be done. Yes, proceed on what?
Thank you, Speaker. I want to appreciate the Right Honorable Prime Minister Deputy Prime Minister for laying the papers, but I want to rise in accordance with Rule 36 of our Rules of Procedure, which talks about the laying of records of debates, bills, and acts of the East African Legislative Assembly. Madam Speaker, according to this rule, the minister responsible for East African community shall within 21 days after the end of every session of the East African Assembly lay on table the copies of all relevant debates, the copies of bills and acts of the community. Madam Speaker, while I appreciate what the current minister has done, you will realize, honorable colleagues, that among the documents that have been laid are bills which were done way back, and it has taken years for them to be laid here. I want to ask government, why has it taken all that for this to be laid? And while we appreciate the current minister for what she has done, the government should ensure that this rule is complied with to enable us understand the affairs of EAC and be able to meaningfully support the process of integration. Thank you, Madam.
Actually, that's the reason why you should thank the Right Honorable Minister, because she has been able to dig out all the documents that have not been laid. Now that we have the documents, we've been having ministers there, but they would not come and lay. Next item.
Item 7, motion for resolution of Parliament urging government to provide monthly payments to village health teams as an incentive for their role in the healthcare delivery system in Uganda.
Item 7. We've left the motion because opposition is not ready. They've requested us to push it to tomorrow. And for the sake of peace and harmony, we believe we should push it to tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I also want to take this opportunity when the Prime Minister is still here. Madam Speaker, this is in regard to the independence of Parliament. Madam Speaker, it is a preserve of this Parliament to undertake the role of appropriation. The Education Committee eloquently and clearly made a proposal that was adopted by the entire House, Madam Speaker, that 485 billion Uganda shillings be allocated or put in the budget, focusing on all the teachers, countrywide, regardless of discipline, arts, and sciences. Madam Speaker, this added month, July 2022, we've gotten feedback from our fellow citizens, and especially the teachers, that the report from the Education Committee that was unanimously adopted by this very House, that 485 billion be paid to teachers, regardless of discipline. Madam Speaker, your citizens all across the country, when I thought of shop to find that only one segment of the teaching community was considered. And Madam Speaker, this very House instructed the Minister for Finance the 485 billion shillings be distributed to all teachers across board. Madam Speaker, our constitution is very clear that when it comes to pay, there should be equity, and that is a constitutional mandate. You directed, Madam Speaker, and the Constitution gives you the power that the moment you direct government, it's not an element of option. Government must follow through the commitment. Madam Speaker, the science teachers and the arts teachers go to the same shops, educate their kids from the same schools, go to the same hospitals, they're confronted by the same challenges. I think this cannot be a parliament that is going to sit while government disregards resolution of parliament. Madam Speaker, if we don't attach value to ourselves, nobody else will. My procedural issue. My procedural issue, Madam Speaker, is just simple, as crystal, as clear. This parliament has the mandate to preserve. If we as government do not have enough money, this government has the power, the duty, and responsibility to ensure that the arts teachers get their pay in a form of a supplementary if we don't have the money. And also, Madam Speaker, this parliament has the mandate to direct government to hold the pay until we as government have enough money. Because we as representatives of these people are finding it hard.
Can you conclude? Can you conclude?
Okay, I've been instructed by the speaker to conclude. Madam Speaker, my conclusion is around the fact that especially our brothers and sisters in the teaching community, that if we as government do not have the money now, we can consider that effective July 2022, they begin counting on us. Madam Prime Minister, you can commit government that effective 2022, until we have enough money to pay the teachers, especially from the SARS, especially the arts segment, they will begin counting the areas effective July 2022, until we get the money. And then lastly, Madam Speaker, if that can be done, it is still within the mandate of this parliament to ensure that the money that was allocated to all of the teachers in this country is shared equally. In other words, the 485 billion, we still have enough room to ensure that that money goes to be paid to all of the teachers in this country. I beg to submit, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much.
Prime Minister. Members, join me congratulate one of our backbenchers, Honorable Akelo Omagago. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you are aware that government is committed to enhancing all salaries of all public servants. including all teachers, but we started with scientists. Other categories will be enhanced depending on the availability of money. Right, Honorable Speaker, you are aware by the time we had that resolution, the teachers were on strike. Government and teachers.
Very good. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Indeed, thank you for the good response. Honorable Prime Minister, we all agree with what you are saying. But you know what is going to happen? As we are talking now, Honorable Speaker, the arts teachers are determined not to mark O-level, PLE, and A-level results. While doing the same job, could you take keen interest whether there is teaching at school now? Then lastly, right now, Speaker, can I put you on notice that we are going to go in court for this matter? We shall go to court. Because what is going to happen right now, Speaker, is that teachers will pretend teaching while they are not teaching. I can assure you that. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister.
You know, the problem is Honorable Seung is a teacher. So he's one of the teachers.
Right, Honorable Speaker and colleagues, you are aware that it is NRM government that brought the rule of law. That's why my brother is now confidently saying they are going to court over the same. So the NRM government brought rule of law. Honorable Speaker and inform you and inform this country and also thank the teachers because we did a verification exercise and we found all the teachers in this country in a class. I want to thank them.
Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Prime Minister, for giving me this opportunity to seek your clarification. But before I seek your clarification, Right Honorable Prime Minister, I want to thank you. I think you are a very active Prime Minister. I've seen you whenever there is a disaster, whenever there is a challenge anywhere, the Prime Minister is the first to arrive on the scene. That is happening, and Right Honorable Nabanja, we are very grateful that you're doing this, and please continue raising our flag very high. The clarification I wanted to seek, Right Honorable Prime Minister, what is the timeline? When are we targeting? For example, if we talk about teachers, when are we targeting to sort out the teachers? When are we targeting to sort out the public servant? Could you give us just some timelines so that we remain not waiting forever, Right Honorable Prime Minister?
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to inform you that the government once again is committed to enhancing salaries of all public servants. We started with scientists. In the medium term, we shall handle category by category depending on the availability of funds. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable. Right Honorable Speaker, we appreciate the answers from the Prime Minister. But through your office, Right Honorable Speaker, I seek your intelligence because we come from these constituencies. You will get information from the rest of the MPs. Right Honorable Speaker, the teachers are not teaching. So I request Right Honorable through your office to have your Committee of Education send them in the field to come and give you a report. You will based on that report, Right Honorable Speaker, and you make your own conclusion. Thank you, Right Honorable.
Honorable members. Honorable members, the students are going on holiday, and when they return, We will make a follow-up, we'll do our oversight role to make sure that the teachers are teaching. In the public gallery this afternoon, we have pupils and teachers from Cotton Nursery and primary school from Lira. They are represented in Parliament by Honorable Dr. Achien Jane Rose, the Minister of Health, Honorable Bongi Vincent, and Honorable Peter Ochen, and Honorable Uma Linda. They have come to observe the proceedings in the House. You're most welcome. Join me in welcoming them. You're most welcome. You gave us very good members of Parliament and maintain them. Honorable, next item.
Item 7, motion for resolution of Parliament urging government to provide monthly payments to village health teams as an incentive for their role in the healthcare delivery system in Uganda.
Honorable members, maybe just as a reminder, this evening we have the Archbishop. Archbishop His Grace Paul Semogerere, the Archbishop of Kampala Diocese, he has come to Parliament to pray with us and welcome us in Parliament officially, and also welcome him in that ministry. We will be having a mass here, and then celebrate the feast of our patron, St. Thomas, and then to solicit for contribution for Christ the King, completion of Christ the King Kampala. So kindly join us in the mass at 5:30. Yes, Honorable Sarah Itanza. The motion is presented by Honorable Sarah.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Asera Stephen Itaza is my name, Area Member of Parliament for Bwaguz East, Kikuve District. I raise to present a motion for a resolution of Parliament urging government to provide monthly payments to the village health teams, VHTs, as an incentive for their role in the healthcare delivery system in Uganda. This is under Rule 56 of the Rules of Procedure of Parliament. Whereas Objective 20 of the National Objectives and Directive Principles of State Policy of the 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda requires the state to take all practical measures to ensure the provision of basic medical services to the population. Right, Honorable Speaker, and whereas in 2001, the Uganda Health Sector Strategic Plan 1 recommended the establishment of village health teams to bridge the gap and improve equity in access to health services. Right, Honorable Speaker, aware that the decision to establish VHTs was made in line with the Alma Ata 1978 and the Ouagadougou 2008 declarations on primary health care and the village health team, VHTs, strategy and operational guidelines were formed and commissioned in September 2001. Right, Honorable Speaker, noting that VHTs contribute significantly to Uganda's health system through empowering communities to take control of their own health, well-being, as well as participating actively in the management of the local health services, including home visits, mobilization of communities for utilization of health services, routine immunization, health promotion and education, community-based case management of common ill health conditions, follow up on the mothers during pregnancy, after birth, and the newborns to provide advice, among others. The list, Right Honorable Speaker, is long on this for the significance that the VHTs do and provide to our community. Right Honorable Speaker, concerned that despite the tremendous contribution by the VHTs in addressing basic healthcare service delivery to the whole population, especially in rural areas, VHTs remain poorly facilitated in the performance of their duties. In 2014, a study by the Ministry of Health indicated lack of regular monthly pay as a barrier to their performances. Madam Speaker, aware that VHTs are paid approximately 10,000 per month or 30,000 per quarter, which does not match the services rendered, given that majority of the population lives far from health centers, which makes VHTs indispensable to bridge the gap. Madam Speaker, further aware that the financial incentives to VHTs which are provided based on the activities to be implemented are not regular, and this had led to a higher turnover of members out of the program due to the financial constraints, lack of transportation, among others, which continue to affect the program. Right Honorable Speaker, considering that the 10th Parliament passed a resolution to pay the community health extension workers at the amount of 150,000 per month, who are to be recruited from the VHTs and are to be based at the parish level. Yet VHTs continue to be poorly facilitated despite their contribution to the healthcare delivery system. Right Honorable Speaker, cognizant of the UN Sustainable Development Goal number 3 on health and well-being, under which member states are called upon to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all at all ages. Right Honorable Speaker, now I therefore be it resolved that Parliament urges government to provide a monthly payment to VHTs of at least, this I repeat, of at least 100,000 each. I would have loved to even suggest of a more fee, but given the situation we are in of COVID, I would comfortably begin with 300,000, but for the start, let me contribute 100,000, let me suggest 100,000 as an incentive and a recognition to the noble role that they play in the healthcare delivery system. As Sarah Stephen, it has assigned Buhagu's East Constituency, Kikuve District, as the mover of the motion. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sarah. I want to, first of all, don't go very far. I want to know, is there budgetary implication in your motion? Does it have a budgetary implication?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker, it has a budget implication, but we could engage the Minister of Health to have this effected. Thank you so much, Right Honorable.
Two, does it affect Article 93 of the Constitution?
Yes, it does, Right Honorable.
And if it affects Article 93 of the Constitution, that can only be brought by government.
Right Honorable Speaker, it is the reason that I have brought it on the floor so that we can equally work together with the government.
You're not government. Honorable Somani.
Right Honorable Speaker,
we all appreciate. In fact, these VHTs in most of our constituencies are being facilitated by MPs. In all our constituencies, they come to us and we appreciate and recognize the role they play. Unfortunately, this particular motion under Article 93B, we cannot proceed on it in this manner because it has an effect. It has an effect because it creates a charge on the consolidated fund. Now, because it's a motion brought in good faith and it is intended to help all of us, I want to propose, Right Honourable Speaker, that government picks it up. Government picks it up and proceeds from here. Otherwise, as Parliament, we are bad in the manner in which the motion has been structured. But we should not lose sight of the significance of this motion. And I hope the Prime Minister can undertake to pick it from here and perhaps channel it through the right processes and have it brought back to save the MPs from the challenges of looking after these VHTs in our respective constituencies.
Prime Minister, can you take over the motion? It's not anything that you're going to debate. First of all, our hands are tied. We want the Prime Minister to make a commitment that she will take it up and bring it as a government motion.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, you are aware we are struggling to pay teachers. You know, let me call a spade a spade. And two, the motion has very good intentions. Let me take it to government side and we discuss it. We shall report here in the near future.
Prime Minister. Honorable Minister, kindly report back to this house. Not in the near future, at least. Give us the time when you're reporting. Please give us the time. Honorable Minister, I will report to the House in 1 month.
Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to inform you that this matter was handled in 2017. And because the government is constrained, the government was not able to bring it here. Let me take it back. Like you have said, I will come back here and report in a month's time.
Thank you so much, Honorable Asera and Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, we suffer a lot with VHTs. We are the ones giving them money. Kindly help us solve this problem and for them to perform very well. As government, you need people who perform, and that would be the best way to pay them, and they are able to perform. Honorable members, we adjourn the House to tomorrow, 3rd August at 2.